welcome to the beautiful town of Kings Point. First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you all for taking the time to listen. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Kasey Budgell. I'm a 15-year-old student at Valmont Academy here in Kings Point. I love living here in my small community with great access to the ocean for boating, fishing, and kayaking. There's great farmland, places to cut timber, and you can even try your hand at maple tapping. Most of all, in my little community, there's beauty right from the mountains to the people, and this allows me to be who I am. So you may be wondering why a 15-year-old would be so interested in the community garden and the greenhouse. Well, to be honest, I can't pinpoint only one reason because there is many. If I'm being honest, I didn't know how interested I was until about a year ago. Luckily enough, I've been introduced to farming, logging, preserving, and many other things from a very young age. Over the years, I've learned how important it is to be able to provide for myself, my family, friends, and even my community. I've had help from learning this right from my grandparents to my parents, from community members, my school, and local farmers of the community. You can definitely tell that the interest is here. Kings Point was once rich in the farming industry. It has some of the finest soils around, which is full of many nutrients. I would also like to mention how subsistence farming provided part of the living to early residents and gradually evolved into commercial farming ventures that are a significant contributor to the economics of Kings Point today. Although most of the larger farms and farmers are now retired, their legacy continues to live on through the younger generation.
Hello, my name is Joyce Cakes. I was the owner of Green Hills Farm, which I started in 1980 with my husband Ronald, who has since passed. We started the farm as a second wage, I suppose, first, and it gradually grew. We just started with basic vegetables first, and eventually we increased to any vegetable that you can probably buy in a regular grocery store. Potatoes, carrots, right down on through to cucumbers, and I even tried melons at one time. We leased our land from the government. That was quite reasonable, about $17 a year, I think. And eventually, I suppose we got older and older and got to the point, well, I thought it was about time for us to retire.
It's awesome to see how our community is keeping our traditions, customs, and culture alive through projects such as the Community Garden, 3% Project, and hopefully food producers. Valmont Academy, in partnership with our town council, has already taken the initiative to create the community garden for our town. With the help of Valmont Academy staff and students, our town council, committee members, and partnerships, 34 garden boxes have flourished and inspired others to become more self-sufficient. The staff here at Valmont Academy have definitely put in the work to teach kids about self-sustainability, from having hydroponics kits and plants in every classroom to hatching chicks every year. Bringing these things into our classroom has given all the kids a chance to learn something new. That I know of, all the kids enjoy having the hands-on aspect in their learning routine. You just have to take a quick walk through the halls of this school on Hatch Day to hear the joy that every new chick brings. If you want to learn more about planting, just drop by the grade 2-3 classroom, where I can assure you there are plants growing all year round.
Hello, I'm Ava.
Hello, I am Olivia.
And we're going to be showing you how to plant a sunflower. This is the stuff that you're going to need. You're going to need a peat pellet,
A popsicle stick and seeds, a packet of sunflower seeds.
First, we need a peat pellet,
course, we need a sunflower seed. Peat pellet is very little right now because it needs to absorb water. This seed is very little now, but it will grow big.
Here we have our water, and when we stop, we're going to put the pea pellet in the water, and then when the pea pellet grows to a big size, we are going to take it out and dig a little hole in it.
We're going to put a peat pellet in, so stay tuned and watch. While you're waiting, if you want to, you can put your name on the popsicle stick with a Sharpie. Well, it looks like these guys are almost ready. Stay tuned. Let's take these out now, guys. You use your popsicle stick to dig a hole, so you just poke it a little bit down, not too deep. And that's how you dig a hole with the popsicle stick.
It's probably good to plant 2 seeds in the same pea pellet because both of them, one of them might not grow. And now we put our popsicle sticks in this like this. It should look like this.
Then, when it's big enough, you can transplant it to your garden.
And you also have to do it lots and lots and lots.
And you also gotta give it lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots.
Okay, and that's how you plant.
The leadership team took this another step farther in 2020 when we accepted the challenge of the 3% project. This project is aimed towards youth to challenge or tackle climate change in their local communities. Our leadership team bounced around many different ideas such as beehives, root cellars, and community cabinets that will go along with our already established community garden, but we agreed that the greenhouse would be the best idea overall. The next step was to propose this idea to the town. The town agreed that the greenhouse was the perfect idea for our already established community garden. This greenhouse will give citizens the feeling of self-sustainability and independence. It will also give people the ability to grow their own plants with a less amount of cost. After presenting to the town that night, I came home and I came across the Food Producers Forum. Right away, I knew that this was a great fit for our community and could help us come along with our vision. With our already existing community garden, this could help our town flourish and give everybody an equal chance to grow, plant, and learn. This greenhouse would allow us to extend our growing season and help grow plants that need warmer temperatures. Representatives from our team have spoken about how to lower our carbon footprint, ways to make our community more food secure, the design of the greenhouse, and other projects to go along with our community garden, such as compost bins, community food cabinets, and a cellar. This would mean that the community would be able to grow fresh vegetables such as lettuce all year round. Living in this rural area means that the produce is not always fresh and often hard to get. Once again, the town council gave their full support for our ideas and agreed to supply the land that needs to be used to make our Earth Shelter greenhouse. As you can see, the Earth Shelter greenhouse will be a costly adventure. Our efforts for food sustainability and food security will not become to their maximum effect unless we have the backing of our community members and local businesses. On just a short drive through Kings Point, you can tell that the interest is here. It's easy to spot numerous greenhouses, chicken coops, homesteads, and so on, right in people's backyards. The pride that goes along with this is overwhelming, just to know that your love and labor went into this. The satisfaction of knowing what you're eating and how it's been raised. What can I say? Kings Point is a gold mine in more than just one way. Sure, there's a gold mine here, but I'm talking about the rich soils. What once was known as the agricultural hub of White Bay has slowly became lost, but together we can bring it back. From endless days at the beginning of the season, sowing seeds, transplanting seedlings, and tending to the garden and weeding, which sometimes I think is a form of punishment, there is always a lesson to be learned. Then fall sets in. The gardens and garden boxes have taken so much time and work. In return, they are flourishing and rewarding us with all of our hard work. Crisp lettuce and the sweetest carrots, the juiciest tomatoes for salsa, and the abundance of fresh eggs. Suddenly, the farmer's tan, the permanently dirty fingernails, and the hours of work don't seem so bad. The new lessons learned in each growing season continues to the next. The what ifs and how can I's, they turn into interesting chats at the grocery stores, the community garden, or when you run into one of the knowledgeable farmers around town. I think there can't be a better way to learn. But I have to say, the most rewarding part of this is being able to share our crop with family, friends, and the community. Oh yeah, and the bragging rights of who grew the biggest pumpkin? That's pretty good too. The recognition at the Great Fall Fair is in sight. One thing I know for sure is that my little community is awesome. We share, we learn, and we teach each other. The community garden and the Earth Shelter greenhouse is just one of the many steps that we are taking to have food sustainability in our community, and we can get there. And what it all comes down to in the end is the harvesting and the processing of fruits of our labor to share with the community. The impromptu boil-ups with family while picking blueberries up at the ridge, and the juiciest red apples given to me by Big Pop from his tree. The endless laughs while jigging squid with friends, and even the free knowledge we have been given. You just don't get it. And you pull them up there now, you'll probably be fine.
Brutal! Jumping in the water? Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea Foley and I'm the Agriculture in the Classroom Coordinator for the NL Federation of Agriculture. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the programs that are hosted by the NL Federation of Agriculture. The Newfoundland and Labrador Federation of Agriculture is an organization which represents farmers and farming groups in our province. Our motto is Farmers Helping Farmers. And we believe that by sharing information and speaking with a united voice, farmers can work more effectively for the betterment of the agriculture industry and for the improvement of our province as a whole. The NL Federation of Agriculture is composed of an executive and board of directors. The board of directors is made up of representatives of the various commodity boards, producer organizations, regional groups, and agricultural interest groups. Independent farmers who are not represented by any of the member organizations may also join. This year, the NLFA completed Phase 1 of the Agriculture and Agri-Foods Canada Agricultural Climate Solutions funding. Agricultural Climate Solutions Living Labs is a 10-year program that intends to establish a strong Canada-wide network of living labs. Through these living labs, regional leaders will bring together farmers, scientists, and other sector partners to co-develop, test, and monitor beneficial management practices on working farms to reduce Canada's environmental footprint and enhance climate resiliency. The two identified priority areas for Newfoundland and Labrador were as follows: carbon sequestration, cover crops, intercropping, conversion of marginal land to permanent cover, etc. And 2, greenhouse gas mitigation, so nutrient management, feeding strategies, etc. NLFA has submitted the proposal for the agreed upon living labs in partnership with Grenfell University, the Department of Fisheries, Forestry and Agriculture, Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada, the PI Centre, and other agriculture stakeholders in the province to hope to move forward with Phase 2 of this initiative. The Newfoundland and Labrador Young Farmers Forum, NLYFF, in partnership with the NL Federation of Agriculture, has undertaken this project to develop the organization and further the goals of young farmers in this province. The goal of the Young Farmers Initiative is to increase the visibility of NLYFF and enhance the opportunities for young people in agriculture. The Young Farmers Forum organizes activities, delivers public information seminars and workshops, and develops recruitment and promotional materials in order to provide enhanced services to their membership and raise awareness of the agriculture industry and the Provincial and National Young Farmers Forum. Their vision is that young farm leaders preserving the future of a sustainable agriculture industry and working towards food self-sufficiency. And their mission is to attract, create, and empower a network of inspiring, new, and existing young farm leaders. The NL Young Farmers has created a variety of resources available to young farmers in this province, including the New Farmer's Guide. This guide was developed to help people interested in starting a farm know which steps to take and what resources are available to them. They also have a mentorship program where it's a pilot program that seeks to match new or beginning farmers with experienced local farmers based on matches related to geography, learning goals, areas of agricultural expertise, and other matching criteria. This will help to encourage the successful establishment of new farms in Newfoundland and Labrador and make the next generation of farmers have more tools at their disposal to contribute to their success. There's also the land matching map. This land matching map and directory seeks to connect young farmers in this province with available land. The overall goal is to help farmers access land faster. They've had industry opportunity sessions such as succession planning, animal welfare, new entrants, other training programs available, and most recently a partnership with Agriculture in the Classroom, Newfoundland and Labrador, to create the Women in Agriculture series. Agriculture in the Classroom Newfoundland and Labrador, or AITCNL, is an industry-supported initiative designed to work in partnership with the Newfoundland and Labrador educators. AITCNL is hosted by the NL Federation of Agriculture. Our vision is to connect youth to agriculture through education. And our mission is that AITCNL will take a leadership role in developing competencies and offering educational programs and resources that promote agriculture awareness in youth. Agriculture in the Classroom NL will deliver the message that agriculture is an important contributor to our economy, the health of our communities, and the sustainability of our food system. AITCNL has developed a variety of resources that engage students in learning about agriculture in an exciting way. These resources are cross-curricular and inquiry-based. AITCNL has developed storybooks and activity books that connect students to the many different facets of agriculture in Newfoundland and Labrador. There are an abundance of online resources that can be done in the classroom or at home. Agriculture in the Classroom NL partners with many other organizations that have agriculture-based resources that fulfill curricular outcomes in classrooms. These pictures represent some of the activities and resources that Agriculture in the Classroom Newfoundland and Labrador do, such as farm tour videos on our website, the Be Creative Literacy Contest that we do during COM with the NL Beekeeping Association and the Egg Farmers in Newfoundland and Labrador. Growing at Home Gallery is our social media campaign. There's scholarships that are available to graduating students. The Career Case game that allows students to explore different careers that are available in the agriculture industry. The Seed Detective activity where students grow mystery seeds and try to guess what they are. And of course, when you love what you do, sometimes you can have a little bit of fun with it, such as myself and the Little Green Thumbs coordinator Maureen dressed up as a beekeeper and bees in that photo there. Little Green Thumbs is the flagship program of Agriculture in the Classroom Newfoundland and Labrador. It is currently in its 10th year with over 180 gardens in classrooms across this province. Little Green Thumbs program aims to help young people value the health of themselves, the environment, and their community through active participation in a classroom garden. The grow kits, soils, and seeds form an indoor garden that complement learning concepts such as where food comes from, how to grow healthy plants, sustainable food systems, community interdependence, and nutrition in a fun, exciting, and relevant way. Newfoundland and Labrador's Little Green Thumbs program is the only province to have a mentorship program, and this has over 45 volunteers that currently go into classrooms, well, on a normal year without COVID, pre-COVID life. They would go into the classrooms and help the students with their planting or their transplanting or any issues that they had. And these farmers and agricultural representatives become classroom heroes to these students. And they share their harvest with them, and they share their stories and any garden journal entries, stuff like that about their mentor. And they really, really enjoy having a real farmer come into their classroom and help out. Little Green Sprouts Garden is a junior program for the Little Green Thumbs. It is an indoor classroom microgreen garden that is suited for kindergarten to grade 2, and it enables the younger students to care for their own garden as well. They do a lot of lettuce and herbs and popcorn, sunflower seeds, speckled peas, buckwheat, things that seem to grow a little bit quicker, 3 to 4 weeks, so that the students can really see something happening in their garden quickly. So this is the Little Green Sprouts, and there's currently 99 gardens out in Newfoundland and Labrador classrooms. We can't forget our wiggly friends, so we also have a vermicomposting program, and we have over 90, I think there's 99 vermicomposters in classrooms across the province, and we send the worms out in the mail through Trotter Special, and the classrooms have been taking care of their worms and then using the castings for their indoor classroom gardens as well. Agriculture in the Classroom Newfoundland and Labrador is a proud member of Agriculture in the Classroom Canada, who, along with its 10 provincial member organizations, believes in the importance of bringing innovative and educational opportunities to students from coast to coast that enhance their understanding and connection to agriculture and food. They add a national voice to agriculture education and strengthening members like Agriculture in the Classroom Newfoundland and Labrador's capacity to reach more students every year. During 2021, Agriculture in the Classroom Canada reached over 2 million students across the country, and their objective is to surpass that reach in 2022. Agriculture in the Classroom Newfoundland and Labrador would not be a successful program without the help of our volunteers. Farmers and agriculture representatives across the province help us to reach students with our programs and events every single year. If you would like to volunteer with any of our programming, do farm tours, virtual or in person, or if you'd like to be a Little Green Thumbs mentor or volunteer at any of our trade shows or events, you can contact myself or anyone at the NL Federation of Agriculture, and we could definitely use your help. The Federation of Agriculture would like to thank the Canadian Agricultural Partnership for supporting programs like the NL Young Farmers Forum and Agriculture in the Classroom Newfoundland and Labrador. If you would like to reach anyone at the Federation of Agriculture, here are our emails for each staff member, as well as our office location. And if you want, you can call the office anytime to speak to a staff member. So 747-4874. And don't forget, you can check out our website for any of our ongoing information and events.
Hello, my name is Gabriella Sabau, and I will be presenting about education for a livable future. I am really happy to be part of this conference. I think it's a needed conference for our province, and I thank Dan Rubin and I thank Emily Doyle for inviting me. So I'm going to start sharing my screen and bring up my presentation. So education for a livable future, what does it mean? So I'm going to start by defining it. I think that a livable future is a conscious choice to live in harmony with oneself and the universe, accepting that all life on Earth is valuable and should be protected. This is something that Aldo Leopold told us since 1949 in his Land Ethic article. The second point we should be accepting is that all economic activity should be confined within the objective limits of our ecosystems. And the third point is that there is no prosperity without sharing it. So actually we need to share it. So I want to do a reality check to see if we live in a way that makes the future livable for others too. So the first point is that our relationship with nature is broken. This is the conclusion of the Living Planet report published in 2020. And this is based on the loss of biodiversity that happens in the world. And actually, 2019 UN report estimated that around 1 million out of 8 million species that coexisting with us on the planet are now threatened with extinction, many within decades. So here you can see actually the biodiversity intactness index, which shows a global average. You can see it falling here. a global average value of 76, which is well below the proposed limit of 90%, and continues to decline, especially due to land degradation. And because land is so important for any agricultural activity, this is bad news that the loss of soil biodiversity is considered one of the major soil threats in many regions of the world. Here you see, especially in Africa, this is happening. So this report concludes that future agricultural systems may need to combine traditional practices, nature-based solutions, and novel technologies such as artificial intelligence, DNA sequencing, and microbiome-based precision farming. The second point I want to make is that actually our economic activity has exceeded planetary boundaries. So this is a report in 2009, Rockstrom and his team from the Resilience Institute in Stockholm. They have measured 9 planetary boundaries which are significant and important for a safe operating space for humanity. And actually here in this green area, the green circle, are the 9 boundaries, and actually we should be living within those boundaries. And the 4 that are exceeded are these biogeochemical flows of phosphorus and nitrogen. This is the result of using fertilizers in agriculture. The next one, which is really badly exceeded, is the genetic diversity. These are the millions of species that are dying every year. The third one is land system change, and you can see that actually we are getting into the red area, meaning that nearly 2 billion hectares of soil resources in the world have been degraded, namely approximately 22% of the total cropland, pasture, forest, and woodland. So the third one is climate change. You can see here we are in the yellow area, and this is due mostly to pollution that happens, which is increasing the temperature. And a very recent book states that agriculture is the most expensive and intensive way in which people transform natural landscapes. And referring to greenhouse gas emissions, it is says that 30 to 50% of total greenhouse gas emissions are the product of food systems. In Canada, just 10% of greenhouse gas emissions are directly attributed to industrial agriculture practices, but this 10% also includes the use of nitrogen fertilizers. So actually, we come back to these flows which are from agriculture, which are so dangerous. And when we talk about the land system change, I found a study which says that the main cause of degradation in Canada's agricultural soil is the move from small, low mechanized mixed farms to larger, highly mechanized farms growing monocultures. The third point I want to make in our reality check is that there are blatant inequalities in the global food system. And I just want to give you 2 quick examples. Enough food is produced in the world, but it is unequally distributed. For instance, in 2017, the world grain production was 2.98 billion metric tons, affording an average of 380 kilograms for each of the world's 7.5 billion people at that point. It's 7.6 now. However, annual grain consumption is very unequal. In the United States, 900 kilograms per capita, while in developing countries, 300 kilograms per capita. What's the major implication? There is a global nutritional imbalance, as about 1 billion people are undernourished and more than 1 billion adults are overweight. Now, the second important thing that I want you to remember here is that family farms are more important than we believe. So a study of very recent one, 2021, draws the conclusion that family farms are feeding the world. And this study has found out that there are 608, so 600, more than 600 million farms in the world. And more than 90% of them are family farms with sizes between 1 and 5 hectares. So not only small, but also medium-sized farms. They occupy about 70 to 80% of global farmland, and they produce roughly 80% of the world's food in value terms. So I think this is significant because we know that the large farms are maybe more productive, but they produce monoculture, and we know that our food needs to be diverse. So this reality check shows that currently the future on Earth doesn't seem livable. Can education help? And here I come to explain what is an education for a livable future. This is education preparing students to live life as responsible members of the Earth's biotic community, aware that biodiversity and nature's contribution to people are our common heritage and humanity's most important life-supporting safety net. But our safety net is stretched almost to breaking point. So that's a conclusion of 2019. Another aspect of education for a livable future, this is education teaching students that life is complex and dynamic, and they need to get the big picture by crossing interdisciplinary boundaries if they want to really deal with issues of life and to live life normally. The third aspect is that education for a livable future should train students the science and social skills needed for meaningful transdisciplinary research, not only in labs, but also in the field together with stakeholders or practitioners, which are holders of valuable local, indigenous, and traditional knowledge. So that's the meaning of transdisciplinarity, not only academic research, but research together with people who work in the field, stakeholders working in the field, or practitioners. And finally, I needed to add this, that education for a livable future is education producing graduates who are reliable community members, promise-keeping, truth-telling, and benevolent. So is this feasible? Yes, already is happening. So I'm going to quickly refer to 2 initiatives in the world, and then I'm going to refer to what we are doing at Grenfell. So there are transdisciplinary colleges in countries like Austria, Germany, Switzerland, and South Africa. And there is groundbreaking transdisciplinary research in Germany, in Sweden, in Switzerland. I just gave you 3 examples of this. And the second example I want to give you is that in the United States, there is this Johns Hopkins Center for a Livable Future in Baltimore, Maryland. Opened in 1996, it has the goal to apply big picture thinking to the food system and to educate the public, policymakers, and advocates on key food system issues. So they don't want just to educate students, they want to educate the public, policymakers, and advocates. So I put here a link in case you want to see what beautiful things they are doing. Now, at Grenfell campus, starting in the past 6 years, when the School of Science and the Environment has been established, we have been building capacity in interdisciplinary programs, such as the undergraduate program in Environment and Sustainability, and in graduate programs in environmental policy, boreal ecosystems and agricultural science, applied geomatics, as well as a PhD program in transdisciplinary sustainability. The school has research labs such as the Boreal Ecosystem Research Initiative and the Functional Food Sensory Lab. So basically, we have the hard and the soft infrastructure for educating our students for a livable future. And to finish, I just want to refer to some recent initiatives which have brought sustainable agriculture and food security research to the forefront at the Grenfell campus. So this initiative have been spearheaded by the Office of Research and Graduate Studies and by the Office of Engagement at Grenfell campus. So the first one is this Agriculture Working Group. This is a faculty group that meets quarterly to discuss on-campus food and agriculture activities, and the group also invites external partners like farmers to present at each meeting to help faculty connect with them. Another initiative is a new group called the Western Regional Agriculture Network, which brings agriculture producers and food-related business owners that operate in Western Newfoundland together once a month to talk with one another. The third initiative, a very recent one, is the Sustainable Rural Communities Initiative, an interdisciplinary committee aiming at strengthening Grenfell campus engagement, research, and teaching and learning in partnership with rural communities in Western Newfoundland, but also in rural, remote, Indigenous, and Northern communities across the province. And the most recent one is the Living Lab, which is coming to Grenfell in collaboration with producers led by the Newfoundland and Labrador Federation of Agriculture, the Labrador Institute, representatives of the federal and provincial governments. Grenfell campus has submitted a proposal for a Living Lab for the province. This Living Lab model brings together farmers, scientists, other partners to co-develop, test, and monitor beneficial management practices and technologies to find and adapt to climate change. This project is supported by the Federal Agriculture Climate Solutions, and some preliminary work is expected to start this season. So very good news here. My conclusion: I think that a livable future is up to us and the choices we are going to make. So it's possible if, provided that we mend our broken relationship with nature, both in real life and in education. We support our farmers and farming communities in their efforts to produce both good food and maintaining the health of our ecosystems and the health and prosperity of our communities. And finally, we share innovative knowledge, expertise, and a hope to share prosperity for all in our beautiful and rich province. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm open for some discussions if there are questions. Bye.